You've been in an accident and you may have been at fault. Do you communicate with your insurance company? Do you take all the calls? What do you do from here? We'll talk about it today on Monday Morning Lawyer. Good morning, everybody. It's your accident and injury attorney, Jobeth Bowers, right here in my Elkton office. A couple weeks ago, we talked about if you get sued because you caused an accident, and oftentimes this happens several years after the accident happened. What do? You report that to your insurance company. I want to dive deeper because I've had some folks contact me about this topic. I get these things. I respond to stuff when I see people looking for an attorney for this specific thing on Facebook. But I want to talk about some of the fundamental elements of dealing with your insurance company when you've caused an accident. Now, as I've said before, my office does not represent people on the defense side of things. Insurance companies have attorneys that they hire or law firms that they run effectively from an arm's length that defend these cases. So if you had valid insurance at the time of the accident that you caused, you already have a defense attorney. You might not know who they are yet. If you don't get sued, you'll never know who they are, but they're there and you've already paid for them. It's baked into your premiums. But I want to talk today about communication with your insurance company. I think I made it clear in that podcast episode that when you get sued and when they assign you an attorney, you need to communicate and cooperate with them. That's pretty straightforward because technically in that specific instance, you are the defendant in a lawsuit for money. And if you can't cooperate, or if you choose not to, or refuse to cooperate with your attorney, then they're not going to be able to work for you and it's not going to go well. But what about before? What about in the instances in which the accident just happened? The claim is just getting set up and the insurance company's calling you and they have questions, and maybe it's midway through the process, months later, and the insurance company is contacting you again. Well, within your insurance contract, and they're all different, but there's a clause in every single insurance contract, I can guarantee you it's there, that obligate you. You have a duty to communicate and cooperate with your insurance company when there's a loss. You can't just ghost them. Because if you ghost them, they will deny and what they call disclaim coverage. You violated the contract. They will say they don't have to do anything, which means they don't have to hire that attorney to defend you, and they don't have to pay the lawsuit, which means you could be financially responsible for what oftentimes with our office in these lawsuits are hundreds of thousands of dollars. But there's more to this, which actually, if you were injured in an accident, you may want to listen to this because this is super important. And it's one of the reasons why you can't really handle these injury cases on your own. You don't necessarily know where all of the insurance coverage, what might be. And what do I mean by that? So somebody causes an accident. Or if you're watching this having caused an accident, you've caused an accident and you have an auto insurance policy. But let's say you're driving somebody else's vehicle. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You borrow a friend's car or what have you. You go out to run some errand and you cause this accident. Now what? Well, the insurance for the vehicle that you're in is primary. But if you have auto insurance yourself, that insurance most likely will be an excess coverage, more insurance to cover that loss. So here's a scenario in which my office will dig deep to try to find additional insurance for our clients. Stuff that there's no way for you to really find this if you don't know what you're doing, which is really one of the reasons why you can't handle these cases, especially the catastrophic and significant ones on your own, because not only is the insurance company not going to pay you what's fair, It's kind of their business model. We've talked about this before, but there's no way for you. You have zero resources as a normal member of society to really assess this, look this up, dig into this. One of the things that we will do as we are nearing the end of a claim, a serious claim, the insurance company has offered the limits of an insurance policy. And this happens all the time in our office because we've got a reputation for taking these things to trial, for really holding people to, the obligation. And we know what these cases are worth. And we're really, really tough advocates for our clients. We will, in those scenarios where we suspect that there may be additional insurance coverage, but we have gotten to the end of our ability to find them, we will request and really we will demand that the driver of the vehicle, or maybe other members, the owner of the vehicle, whoever, all of the parties that are really relevant or involved, they have to provide us with any proof of any insurance coverage that might remotely be eligible to take care of this claim. Even going to go so far as to have them sign a notarized and sworn affidavit if their claim is that there's no additional insurance. This is a big deal because if you lie about this and it's uncovered that you lied, you could be sued, and that's a lawsuit directly to you. The insurance company is not going to pay for something if you fraudulently were the reason that we didn't know about the additional insurance. And I know a lot of people like to hide. Hey, I don't want anybody making a claim against my insurance. I don't want my rates to go up. Well, look, it's going to happen. And it's much better that your rates go up because you caused an accident and were forthcoming and truthful than for you to be saddled with a multi-$100,000 debt that you alone are responsible for. And to take this even further, if you lie on the affidavit because you didn't cooperate with your insurance company and it's found that you have this other insurance, not only are you susceptible to the lawsuit personally, but because it's based in fraud, it's highly likely to be eligible for discharge in a bankruptcy. So you're going to be stuck with this verdict. You can take your car, your house, all sorts of things because it falls outside of the protections of the bankruptcy code in most situations because of the fact that lying on this affidavit is fraudulent. So point of the story is, good attorneys like us, good law firms like ours will dig and we will find the insurance coverage. You need to cooperate with your insurance company. You need to provide them all this information, even though you might not want to, or you may not understand why. Well, this video is really the why. It is actually in your best interest to do so, even though it might not feel like that. So, point of the episode here, cooperate if you are at fault with your insurance company. If you are injured and not at fault, follow the guidance of us, your attorney, whoever you end up hiring to handle the situation. They're going to guide you through. There are very few situations when you're represented by counsel that you'll speak directly to an insurance company. A lot of them have to do with the logistics of having your vehicle repaired or replaced. Outside of that, not so much. So again, if you're at fault, you need to cooperate. If you're not at fault, work with your attorney, because you really should, if there are injuries, have an attorney, because the playing field is so unlevel between somebody trying to represent themselves and the insurance company, because the insurance companies, as I mentioned in this episode, have these law firms that they have either on retainer or they run the law firm or whatever the setup is. They have all of the tools, all of the resources to go to war against you. You should get a team backing you. That's all I have for this week. If you have other questions for the podcast, shoot me an email, info@bowerslawmd.com. Things with the insurance reviews, which I'll announce here starting August 1st. We are bringing back the insurance review contest, and we're going to do it monthly through the NFL season. Every single month, we're going to have a drawing from that month's entries for tickets to a home Ravens game the following month. So I guess it's going to be, we're going to start in August because the season starts in September. So have me review your insurance policy in August. You might win tickets to a football game in September, so on and so forth. So once we hit December, when there are no football games the next month, we'll stop that. We'll come up with some other prize because I want to keep doing this. It's really, really good to have your insurance policy reviewed. We do it absolutely free. And when we're doing these contests, we choose a nonprofit that every time somebody submits for me to review their insurance company or their insurance policy, we're going to give $5 as a charitable contribution at the end of that month to a local nonprofit. For March, what am I talking about? March. For August, our nonprofit of choice right here in Cecil County is Voices of Hope. So during the month of August, every insurance review that we do at marylandinsuranceBook.com is going to also, not only will you get that free review, not only will you be entered to win Ravens tickets for the following month, but that review is going to get $5 toward Voices of Hope. So if we get 100, that's 500. If we get 1,000 people, I'm going to give them $5,000. There is no cap for the kids, right? To how much money we will give if we get that many submissions. Now, if I get 1,000 submissions, I'm going to warn you now, it's going to slow down the response time, but that's okay because I'd rather educate 1,000 more people about their Maryland auto insurance policies. So if you see this a little early and submit it, I'm not running a contest in July. So anything that comes in July is going to count toward August. So go ahead, MarylandInsuranceBook.com, send me your insurance policy, absolutely free review. I'm going to tell you what I like, what I don't like, what my recommendations are. Then you take that to your agent because I don't sell insurance. So there's no sales pitch here. Just, hey, you want these things to protect yourself. That's all I have for this week. As always, if you need back episodes of the podcast, because there's tons and tons for the past years, go to my website, bowerslawmd.com. Right up at the top in that bar where it says podcast, that's where you'll find the collection of all the old episodes. And it's a ton of valuable information. So be well, be safe out there. We'll see you next week, same time, same wherever you're watching this.